Hello everyone, this is Sarah Lee. This presentation is done for the Master's Degree in Education in Walden University, Education Module Reaching and Engaging All Learners Through Technology. This week's application is about universal design for learning. Nowadays, our classrooms are more and more diverse in terms of students' learning styles, learning difficulties, or disabilities. Traditional teaching method might not work with every student. In order to connect to different students, differentiated instructions are a must. Universal Design for Learning, UDL, this concept opens up the window for teachers to best facilitate their students so that at the end, every student should be an expert learner. UDL, this concept originated from architecture. The idea is to make our physical environment accessible to everybody. Here are some examples that you can see in our daily lives. The three guiding principles of UDL focus on activating and involving students' brain networks. The first principle is to present information and content area in multiple ways. This is the recognition network of the brain. Traditionally, teachers use textbooks or other printed materials as the major means to bring across the content to students. This method is limiting because learners with high concentration span will be able to follow, whereas kinesthetic learners might lose interest easily. Moreover, audio learners likewise will be missing out. This principle, however, suggests that teachers should deliver their content area using multiple ways of presentation. Instead of only using printed text, content area materials can be shown on a computer, for example, using PowerPoint presentations, graphic organizers for visual learners. Video input like virtual field trips, digital story for audiovisual learners. That way, materials are equally accessible to everyone. The second principle is to provide multiple ways for action and expression. This involves the strategic network of the brain. Traditional teaching assigns homework like worksheets or workbook for students to show what they have learned or a way for consolidation. There is no variety for students to express in a way that they prefer. Creativity is seriously stifled because of this. On the other hand, UDL principle suggests that teachers allow flexibility among their students to express in a way that they feel comfortable and passionate. Students are encouraged to explore their own interests and express themselves creatively. Motivation and engagement can then be enhanced. Instructional strategy-wise, students can work in groups during projects, creating interactive organizers, using online blogs or online forum for discussions, creating digital storytelling like virtual field trips, voice thread, etc. The goal is to allow students the flexibility of choosing their preferred way to express what they have learned and what message they want to bring across as a result of their learning. The third principle is to provide multiple means of engagement for students. This is the effective network of the brain. The prime goal of education in the 21st century is to cultivate and develop our students to be self-directed and self-regulated learners. Engaging themselves in learning is a critical stage that we teachers need to facilitate. It's also a skill that they need to master for the workplace. Under this UDL principle, students' needs and preferences will be taken into consideration when developing instructional strategies. Teachers can gather data from students using online survey software to find out information about individual students, their interests, hobbies, and learning styles, etc. By doing group works and projects, students are to create their own artifact through collaboration and cooperation with their fellow students. The goal is for students to take ownership of their learning. Peer evaluation, interactive assessments, and formative assessments all play a role in engaging students' learning process. Instructional strategy should show flexibility and creativity in order to sustain motivation. In this technology-driven society, most of our students are digital natives. Integrating technology into the classroom is not only a trend, but a must to engage students. Being able to use technology for communication, developing critical thinking, and problem-solving skills are essential criteria in 21st century workplaces. The role of technology in the UDL framework is vital because technologies facilitate the deployment of teaching and learning and can better equip teachers to address to the diversity of students in classroom. For example, For audiovisual learners, we can have videos or take them on virtual field trips when delivering the content area instead of only using printed texts. Technology also allows students to customize or personalize learning materials. Students can use word processing software to change font size or font styles. For students with different learning disabilities, assistive technologies offer software and hardware to boost the accessibility and usability of the teaching materials. For example, software like text to speech, speech to text, spelling and grammar checkers, optical character recognition are all widely available. Having said that, technology is very important in UDL. It doesn't mean it's the only way. Teachers will have to set goals and objectives for their lessons and see how technology can enhance learning by creating a flexible and creative learning environment, which not only address but also accommodate student diversity. In other words, there might be solutions that involve low technology implementation but still achieving the same goal. Technology should only be used in a supportive role rather than a leading role. Following the UDL framework in our teaching and learning shall greatly benefit my students because students' diversity will be accommodated. Learning should be enhanced from sustainable motivation and engagement. Teaching and learning will no longer be a one-way street, but allow variability and novelty. A truly student-centered approach can be achieved where teachers are the facilitators. The ultimate goal of implementing UDL will be to help students to become self-directed and self-regulated expert learners. Of course, without the support of the school in terms of infrastructure and policies, the potential benefits of UDL wouldn't be possible. Brain research informs teachers that students will use all three networks of their brain whenever they learn new content area. Each of the networks is different to different people. The three networks are recognition network, strategic network, and affective network. Recognition network helps to identify objects and concepts. Strategic network is for execution, how students express what they have learned. Affective network is used for evaluation, motivation, and engagement of the learning process. Understanding the brain research gives teachers a fuller picture of comprehending our students' strengths and weaknesses. Since all three networks will be at work when one learns, it is important that teachers' instructional strategies will help to reap the best benefits from these three networks. For instance, to fully connect our recognition network, teachers need to present learning materials in multiple ways to cater different students' learning needs. Moreover, our strategic network, to work at its best, teachers should allow flexibilities in their instruction, allowing students multiple ways of expressing themselves. Last but not least, getting students to engage in their tasks and develop a strong motivation in general for learning has always been our goal. It is thus essential that teachers understand their students' preference, interest, and learning needs. Their family backgrounds, nationalities, culture, and gender, etc., all play a role. Knowing an individual across all these perspectives helps teachers to cater to their effective network better. The whole process of having flexibility and creativity in our instructional practice helps contribute to this network, which is believed to be the most important network for students to become a self-motivated and directed learner. Technology can first of all be used to find out more information about individual students. Using online survey software like SurveyMonkey, Zoomerang, etc., teachers can easily gather data about their students and analyze it. Technology can also be easily applied to different learning situations in order to activate the three networks of our brain. It is never a difficult job for teachers to show their materials through multiple ways. Students can access to these materials easily and even customize or personalize it. The aim of UDL is teaching to students' strength. Technology easily and effectively accommodate different students' preference in expressing themselves. Wikis, blogs, graphic organizers are all examples of various ways that students can use to present what they have learned. There are several cast online tools that I think will be quite useful for my school. The first one is Strategy Tutor, which is a tool to help students to research on the internet and learn strategies for reading. It is our tradition that we'll dedicate a whole term every year to do project-based learning, PBL, where students have to come up with a topic of their own and create an artifact for their showcase. This tool shall teach and guide our students to be effective reader and researcher online. The second tool I'll introduce to my school is the UDL Lesson Builder. This tool helps teachers to create their own UDL featured lesson plan. Our students are getting more and more diverse, and they are usually less supported from traditional curriculum. A tool teaching and helping teachers to build their own UDL lesson plan will be ideal. Nevertheless, getting my students' reading level up is also our major concern in my school. The UDL Book Builder will be my next tool to introduce. This tool gets students to not only read, but also create and edit their own book. It caters to students' diverse interests, needs, and skills. Currently, our students seem to be very reluctant to read. This tool should help and attract their interests in reading. We believe reading is the key to success in this knowledge-based society. Be it online or on books, reading skills are one of the many essential skills that schools should give to their students. Lastly, I will introduce the UDL Curriculum Self-Check tool. It allows you to check whether one has applied UDL theories into the design and execution of the curriculum. I believe it's useful for my school as a form of quality control and self-evaluation. To conclude for this presentation, multiple intelligences affect how the brain handles information, life experiences, and knowledge. However, each student is a unique individual. Their individual abilities to use the different networks is as unique as their personalities. This means that what works well for one student, for example, the strategic networks, could cause great difficulties for another student that has to cope with ADD, attention deficit disorder. UDL gives us a framework that allows teachers to focus on each student's strength in a manageable way. Thanks to technology, we can provide learning resources and experiences in multiple forms and delivery methods and allow the students to have far greater control over their learning experience. In short, combining UDL with technology gives us the ultimate tool to support our students, whatever difficulties they might have.